To mark the 10th anniversary of the Sunflower Movement this year, the Economic Democracy Union put together 318 stories from the protests.
Rome poster Ah Yong was inspired to found an organization dedicated to urban poverty after distributing extra food from the protesters to the homeless. Another said that at the time they climbed over real walls, but hopefully their stories can help others overcome mental barriers.
怎么样子定位自己，然后我就觉得再也没有比我们更适合，就是说我们真的是路过的一群人了。
It's been 10 years since the sunflower movement, so where is everyone now? Aside from the leaders who have remained in the public eye, there's also Ah Yong, founder of Do You a Flavor, who was inspired to create the NGO for the homeless from her experience during the protests.
物资站的志工就
Volunteers distributing supplies came to me and said they received another box late at night. My colleagues and I took out our phones to search for 2 words, and that set us on a path for the next 10 years. Those were the keywords, Taipei and homeless. That was the first time in my life I encountered people so unlike myself.
At that time, lots of food was donated to the protesters. To avoid waste, Ah Yong donated it to the homeless, changing her life with a single box. The Economic Democracy Union put together 318 of these kinds of stories to cast new light on the sunflower movement. At the time, people not just in Taiwan but around the world demonstrated in solidarity with the protesters.
学生被打，然后我们就觉得
When the students were beaten, we thought, how is this okay? Then student groups around the world popped up. Since the US was on board, in Japan, Europe, at all times, there were Taiwanese people marching against the Trade Services Agreement.
我们当时是肉体的翻墙进去。
At the time, we climbed over physical walls to get inside. Of course, many young people jumped on board right away, but the most important thing is that, in the process, they overcame mental barriers as well. Starting from the state of politics and democracy, they also thought about lots of other things in Taiwan, like trade, the free economy, and the economic system.
10 years ago, protesters burst through the walls of the legislature. Now, the students and protesters from that time hope that their stories will inspire others to turn to the next chapter.